Hello and welcome to Beta Investments. I'm going to show you some of my alpha and beta cards today. I've actually got two near mint sets of alpha and beta that I'm working on, and these are all the extras that don't appear in the binder for obvious reasons. So those are the graded, and these are the sleeved. Let's see if I can fix the video there. So on the front side of this binder I've got all the beta. So I've got, and there's some CE cards where I have a matching graded card, so there are some CE substitutes in here. And if you see the back of a card, it's because I've only got one of the two cards. So if you look at the front here, I've got my betas. On the back, I've got my alphas. So, betas, alphas, betas, alphas. So I'm going to go through and yeah, just show you the cards. Just one interesting note here, the Beta Armageddon. I don't really like graded cards, so I tend to pop them out of the sleeves. And when I do that, I usually start with the tag. So anyway, these have all been collected over the last 20 years, mostly through eBay. And yeah, if you didn't get on the bandwagon, well, at least you can watch this video. So there's the first page. These are the alphas. So it's Alpha Ankh, Alpha Animate Wall, Alpha Animate Dead, Alpha Bad Moon, etc. Alpha Armageddon. I'll shut up now so that you can just watch. Yeah, Chaos Orb. In case you're wondering about the sorting, these are all in alphabetical order. So actually when I'm flipping through here, because the back is alpha and the front is beta, you're actually seeing alpha on the left and beta on the right. If any of you guys can fill any of these spots, be sure to let me know. I really like Shivan Dragon. That was one of my favorite cards growing up. I had about 8 copies. I think I traded away dual lands for them. Funny story too, I bought this for $80. Now it's quite a bit more than that. So that's it for the alpha beta. Oh, just some interesting stuff here at the end. So these guys are test print cards. So they have white on the back. and these are all signed by the artists. My understanding is there are about 20 of these made for each card, and they were sent out to the artist, and so that the artist could check the artwork. Most of them ended up being signed by the artist and sold through auction or eBay. For alpha and beta cards, especially the lower end cards, the value of these guys is quite a bit higher than the singles themselves. So I just thought that was kind of cool. And of course, in addition to the cards in the binder, I've got a bunch of graded cards. And yeah, so that's about it for the alpha beta video. I might make another one for some of my sealed or some of my lands. I collect a lot of modern foils. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled. Alright, today for those of you who are interested in vintage, I'm going to go through some of the sets that I have. I've got the first 3 expansions, Arabian Nights, Antiquities, and Legends. Complete sets in here, and I have Unlimited complete set on the right. And the only 4 cards that aren't in the binder are the ones at the top, which are graded. So anyway, I'm going to start with Arabian Nights, and obviously Bazaar Baghdad is one of the big hitters in Arabian Nights. Something you'll notice, there's a lot of duplicates of the cards, and the reason is that there were 2 print runs of Arabian Nights. There was a light printing with the light mana symbols, and there was a dark printing with the dark mana symbols. So these are the same card, the only difference is the mana symbols. So when you're collecting a full set of Arabian Nights, you need to include all of the cards that have a light and a dark mana symbol. And it's mostly the commons. In fact, I think they're all the common 3s that are affected by that. So Bird Maiden is another example. We have the light and the dark. Interestingly, Juzam Djinn, well, when I get there I'll show you some of the cards. The mana symbols are almost invisible. So a lot of people used to play these cards without paying the colorless mana cost on the cards, especially the black cards where the symbol's really hard to see, and you know, I guess they used to get away with that. But anyway, so a lot of these cards recently have been spiking in value. I think I bought this Drop of Honey for about $19. Just recently it's gone up to $400 or $500. And it's true of a lot of the cards in the set. I think the Diamond Valley was, this one I probably got for around $30, now it's $280-ish. So I mean, I got lucky with a lot of these purchases, but you know, this is what I do. This is my hobby. So another big hitter there is the Guardian Beast. This is an example of the mana symbol that's almost invisible. So there's a 3 there. If you're not looking really closely, you know, you just put this down and pay 1 black mana if your opponent isn't paying attention. Anyway, so that's why they fixed the dark mana symbols with the light printing, but they didn't fix all of the cards. They just reprinted the commons. So, and also the another thing with the dark and the light, the skull for the black cards has a light and a dark. So this is the dark, and this is the light printing. So they also adjusted the color to increase the contrast between the mana symbols and the black background. So it's interesting. And here's the original printing of If Biff Ifrit. Interesting thing is the revised, I think, was it the Serendip Djinn? They accidentally took this artwork and put it on the wrong card and revised. So they had a green bordered blue card and revised. It's kind of interesting. Island of Whack Whack. That one's gone up recently. Of course, the Juzam, this is what I was talking about, the mana symbol, the 2. It's very dark, it's hard to see. The library, which you saw in an earlier video. Also, the interesting thing was, to fill the sheet, they actually printed some of the mountain artwork and it has the Arabian Nights mana symbol. So Mountain is considered part of the Arabian Nights set, even though it was just a filler card. And this guy is banned, or maybe just restricted. I think it's restricted in Old School and banned in elsewhere because of Scheherazade. This is one of my favorite cards just because you get to piss off your opponent. Basically, you play another sub-game of Magic, and whoever loses has to lose half their life. So this was kind of a fun way to make your opponent angry and just draw out the game. Okay. And on to Antiquities. Oops, sorry. So Antiquities was a pretty small set. The boxes had a lot of cards. I think it was it 48 or 60 boosters in a box. Same thing with the Arabian Nights boxes and the Legends boxes. You got more than 32 boosters, or sorry, 36 boosters. So you could actually get quite a bit of value out of the old boxes. The expensive cards in this set are the Candelabra, which I zoomed in on there just a minute ago, and obviously the Mishra's Lands, most expensive being the Mishra's Workshop, which adds 3 colorless mana to your mana pool for casting artifacts, and the winter version of Mishra's Factory. And there's 4 artworks for Mishra's Factory. There's the winter, the summer, or sorry, the fall, the spring and summer. Summer, spring, fall, winter. And winter is the prettiest, so of course it's worth the most. And of course the 4 artworks for the strip mines. And the Urzatrons, this is all of the different Urza lands. Starting from the mine, 4 different artworks for mine, and then 4 different artworks for the power plant, and 4 different artworks for tower. And those guys were reprinted in Chronicles, but only one of the artwork was reprinted. Same thing with the strip mines and the Mishra's Factories. Actually, that one was reprinted in 4th edition, but only one of the artworks. So, next we have Legends. So a lot of gold cards in Legends, and banding was another thing that they introduced. The Legend card type was also introduced in Legends. So if you look, this one's a Summon Legend. The rule there was you can only have 1 Legend on the table, so these guys were considered to be more powerful than other cards, I guess, so you can only have 1 of them in play. All Hallows Eve there. It's one of the top cards. Chains of Mephistopheles. And Chain Lightning was also kind of interesting. So it's basically a lightning bolt, and then when it's done, you flip a coin, and whoever wins gets to do 3 more damage to a target of their choice. So it's like a lightning bolt that never ends, just keeps giving. Legends was a pretty big set, so when you're opening booster packs, you have a very low chance of getting a high value card. But of course you did get, I believe it was 40 something boosters in a box, so 48 I think. Love the artwork on some of these. Like, just a lot of variety in terms of the color usage and the, you know, the I would say maybe offensive artwork in some cases, like, you know, women and scantily clad women, and violence, blood, things that you don't see these days in the artwork. So Mana Drain. This is like a counterspell on steroids. Costs the same as counterspell, but you get to keep the mana that is used to cast the spell, and it gets added to your mana pool the next turn. So if you guys are using counterspells, you should buy Mana Drains instead. Mirror Universe, which I remember being one of the most expensive cards back in the day. Now it's not so much. I mean, it's still expensive, but basically allows you to match your life point total to your opponent if you're losing. And of course, Moat prevents any non-flying creature from attacking you, which of course is very strong back in the day when you're dealing with crawworms and forces of nature and things of that sort. Again, tons and tons of gold cards, a lot of legends. The Serpent Generator is an interesting one. This is the poison mechanic. It's basically you take 10 poison counters and you lose. So there's a bunch of cards that have the poison mechanic, and I don't know, it's just kind of an interesting. It's a good way to win against life draw. Basically the decks that just give people tons of life. If you give them pointer counters, they still die. Anyway, I'm going to speed up here. Got Abyss. So this is a way to clear out, if you had for example, like a breeding pit or something where you had a bunch of little tiny creatures, you could drop an Abyss and clear out the opponent's battlefield. Tabernacle, obviously. Alright, so that's it for the Legends card. The only other thing to mention is Legends only came in boosters, there were no starter packs. And each booster pack had a rules card, so you can see all the different rules that came out in Legends. Rampage was one. The multicolored cards, this is the first time they saw multicolored cards. Enchant Worlds, and the legendary cards, as I mentioned. And some rule clarifications, that was kind of cool. So those came in the booster packs. Now I'm going to move on to Unlimited. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do a separate video for Unlimited because I think I'm at the limit here. So, see you next time.